Black woman Tasia Fortune found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. Now let's do some black math, shall we? What is the likelihood that a black person would climb a tree and self-unalive? Probably slim to none. Now, I will say for the first time in a long time, Mississippi has not been quick to rush to determine that there was no foul play. And it's probably because they already have so much heat under them because of everything going on in the case of Nolan Wells, where they were quick to determine or try to tell us that there was no foul play. But I also want us to remember Trey Reed, the young black man who was found hanging from a tree on his college campus. And they rushed to tell us that there was no foul play the same day or the day after his body was found. Now, these are all clearly three very different instances, but I'm putting them all together because I want us to recognize that there is a commonality in the math not mathing in Mississippi and them being quick to rush to judgment. Now, Tasia's family is demanding answers and wanting to know what happened to her, but right now the police, the authorities, and the medical examiner in Mississippi is keeping everything tight sealed and not releasing any information. Now, the reason that concerns me is because this is the same medical examiner who has a history of determining that somebody's unaliving is undetermined or that they can't find anything that suggests foul play. So we need to keep saying Tasia Fortune's name to make sure that she gets the justice that she deserves.
Now, my plane just touched down in St. Lucia, and I wanted to jump on here to remind you all that black people do not hang themselves from trees. Do you hear me? None of this is okay, and none of this is normal. A black woman was found hanging on Monday night behind a vacant home in Mississippi. Guess who's going to be the medical examiner? The same one that investigated Trey Reed up at Delta State University that was found hanging. The same one that is on the investigation for Nolan Wells. Exactly. So let me tell you all something. We are being hunted, and we need to move as such. Okay? None of this is okay. If we wanted to find a way to get up off this spinning rock, it would not be through hanging ourselves from a tree. She was hung so high that they had to call in people to get her down. Do you all understand? None of this is okay, and none of this is normal. Black people do not hang themselves from trees. And because we know this, we need to stop skipping past these headlines, okay? I don't want you all to become numb to this. None of this is okay. And
I'll tell you something. Yes, they do. And in jail, they do it often. Yes, they do. And a lot of them do it just to spark outrage, to make it a racial incident for sympathy. It's a basic case of narcissism. These people are hanging themselves. There's no clan running around doing this to your people. No, it's not happening. You know how I know it's not happening? Because you're more outraged about 10 people in 3 years losing their life via hanging without anyone pointing the finger back to said group. You're more outraged about those 10 people in 3 years than you are about all the children lose their lives daily in Chicago, Memphis. You're more outraged about this because you think someone white did it. No proof. But there's more outrage because the person that you think did it is white. Some of you niggas need to look in the mirror. Let's get out.
I'm probably not going to get any views on this, but I don't care. This is not my normal content, but my step cousin needs justice. That black woman that was found hanged, I'm kind of worried about getting this video taken down, but that black woman that was found deceased on Remembrance Road was my step cousin Tasia. I don't think that they've officially confirmed it yet, but I talked to her mama today, and they pretty much have told her that it was her. They just had to officially confirm it. But this was not this was murder. I need anyone who wants justice for anyone to speak up about this, please. I am worried to death that her mama is never going to get the closure that she deserves. This is disgusting, and nobody deserves that. I had to take a break to compose myself, but Tasia, she needs justice. I need everyone that is willing to talk about this. This is so sick. From what I know, Tasia is not the only one this has happened to. I think that the police told her mama this was the third incident. Something is going on in Jackson, Mississippi. Everyone needs to talk about this. Something is going on in Jackson, Mississippi. Also, another thing that I'm just upset, so I'm having trouble with my words. But another thing that I wanted to mention is be careful if you look anything up related to this, because allegedly, well, not really allegedly, because her mom's seen it, there is a gory video, or not video, but picture, a gory picture of her deceased. And someone showed it to her mama, and she said that, yeah, you could tell it was her, even though they had covered her face, I think. But everything else was visible, so please be cautious when looking up anything about this case.
Guys, welcome back again to the channel. My name is Olivia. So guys, I just came across this video and it broke my heart. It's high time people start believing and knowing that black people don't just lynch themselves. Okay, black people don't just all of a sudden lynch themselves. Someone did it. Someone did that. So I've not seen a white person. I've not seen a news coverage saying white person was found lynched. I've never seen a white person found lynched. I've never seen a news coverage saying, oh, a white person was found lynched in Mississippi or in any part of the country. This keep happening to black people. It keep happening to black people, and especially in Mississippi. I don't know, black people are no longer safe in Mississippi. Black people are not safe in Mississippi because this is the same story we keep hearing every day. And for the fact that nothing is done or nothing has been done makes us to worry, because this will keep happening, though we don't pray for it. The police department needs to do more. They need to investigate more. They need to actually find out what is really happening in Mississippi. Why is it always Mississippi? Why is everything about Mississippi? Why is black life wasting in Mississippi? Why are the horror sudden deaths happening in Mississippi? Like, these are the questions that we need to start asking. We don't just fold our arms and just watch, because nothing will happen. Nothing will be done. Someone's life is gone and the person will not come back again. The families are mourning, and I send my condolences to the family. I pray that God heals their hearts, because I know what it felt like to, losing your loved one. This is something that we don't pray for, but we don't just need to stay and pray and just hope for God to do His work. We need actions. The police department, the investigators, everybody needs to put hands together and actually find out what is really happening in Mississippi. Why are black lives wasting in Mississippi? Why is it always black people? What have black people done to people of Mississippi? What is happening? Like, these are the things we need to ask ourselves and make sure to find the answers. Because if we fold our arms, nothing will happen. The news will just fly away like a bird. Like, nothing will happen. No solid answers. These are questions everybody wants to know. The families wants to know, but no answers. So these are things that we don't just need to just be quiet. We need to put more effort, put the news out there, so that these people will know that, hey, black people are very serious. Like, we keep losing our brothers, we keep losing our sisters in Mississippi, and nothing is happening, nothing is being done. Like, let me leave you guys to watch to the end, okay? I'll come back with more commentaries. Stay with me, guys.
Look, this needs to freaking stop. Whether it's in the United States or in the United Kingdom, black people do not lynch themselves by hanging from trees. We don't freaking unalive ourselves by bodies of freaking water. It is not a freaking black thing to do. And you telling us there's nothing to see here. You telling us that it's not suspicious. Pisses us off. Oh my word. What do you mean that this is not a lynching? This is freaking Mississippi. It has hundreds of years of bloody lynching black people. It is suspicious. When we tell you it's suspicious, it's because we know it is suspicious. And when you tell us it's not suspicious, we know it is suspicious. You're just proving our freaking point. Oh my word. Enough. You people can go to hell. As though it's not bad enough that we witness this every single time. It keeps happening to young black people, to old black people. I mean, it's racial trauma every single freaking day, whether you're in the United States or United Kingdom. Enough! And you know, the people who cover up this lynching, who call this lynching suicide, not suspicious, nothing to see here, are freaking white people. Do you freaking understand?
Tasia Fortune, a 29-year-old black woman, was found hanging from a tree in Mississippi behind a vacant house. The police are currently investigating this to see if they can find any signs of foul play or whether they think this was something else. Obviously, because she's a black woman and the manner of death, people are very suspicious of this case. If this is found to be murder, Mississippi does allow for the death penalty for capital murder charges. They also allow for the firing squad, and if somebody did this to this poor young woman, I think that's exactly what they deserve. But what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments.
So you would have thought, since black people was enslaved for 400 years and was forced to be in segregation for about 75 to 80 years, we would have had the easy way out and would have been able to set up with our feet up, but all types of shit. But unfortunately, black people would continuously always get the short end of the stick, no matter what happens and how it happens. Why am I hearing that this beautiful girl named Tasia Fortune was found hanging up from a tree behind an abandoned building? Now, mind ya, Tasia was hanging up for about 3 to 4 days before somebody actually seen her. And when the firefighters pulled up, they had to use a ladder truck just to get her down. So with that being said, this investigation needs to be very thorough, and they better not claim this was a suicidal event. But all I'm gonna say is they better find the devil who was behind and make them pay for what they did. Justice for Tasia.
Hey y'all. So we have another weird unaliving in Mississippi. And I am pretty certain, 99.9% sure, this is not an S-side, as people are going to say. It was not a unaliving at her own hands. I don't know what's going on in this state, but it's going to stop. I mean, what the hell? All I keep hearing, is Nina Simone and Strange Fruit. I mean, just in like a little over a month, you've had so many what appear to be racially motivated crimes. This is not Jim Crow. That died. That's gone. Jim Crow's gone, no matter how bad some of you want it back. I'm angry. I hurt for this lady. I hurt for her family. Not a lot of details are coming out yet. I do know someone who works at this paper and spoke to them, and they're just like, yeah, I don't think it's... They think it was murder. And I'm just... my heart is so heavy right now. I mean, you know, just in a month, we've had that little baby unalived by police in North Mississippi. And then down south on the Gulf Coast, we have Nolan. And then today, we're waking up to this news. This can't keep happening. My fellow white people, stand up. Use your privilege, for God's sakes. Use your privilege. I don't have privilege. Yes, you do. The color of your skin is privileged. And nobody is saying that your life doesn't matter before someone comes on here and says that. All lives matter, yes. But Black lives matter because we don't have to worry about this, right? I mean, you don't hear about Black people going around doing this to white people, right? I've never heard of this, except in this community, and it's wrong. I'm truly at a loss of words right now. I mean, this is just so wrong, so wrong. I'm stunned. We've got to stop this. If you believe this is wrong, help me.
Tasia Fortune was 29 years old when she was found hanged from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi on Monday. Her body was discovered hanging from a tree in the backyard of a vacant home. This home was located at 500 block of Road of Remembrance, a mostly Black neighborhood, at 9:05 at night. The neighbors are the one who found the body and had to call police. It's unknown how long she was there for. The head county coroner said that earlier this week the body would be transported to the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's office to perform an autopsy to determine the cause of death. They have not stated whether or not this is foul play, but you know how this goes. There is a GoFundMe for Tasia. This is to help cover the funeral and other final arrangement costs. I'm going to link it in my bio, so feel free to check it out. Tasia Fortune was a beloved daughter, sister, and friend whose passing has left family devastated and heartbroken. During this lifetime, families go through ups and downs, and right now, Tasia's loved ones are facing one of the hardest moments they have ever known. Tasia was a strong-minded, big-hearted, vibrant young woman whose life was taken at just 29 years old. Her loss has deeply shaken everyone who knew and loved her, and her family is now trying to begin healing while also facing the painful responsibility of saying their final farewells.
A 29-year-old Black woman was found lynched in Mississippi, and I'm sure it'll be ruled as a suicide because racism runs rampant in this fuck-ass country. It is so disgusting. When is it gonna end? For like, how racist are y'all? It's insane. Like, and then this happened, what, like around this time last year in Mississippi? Young man, 21 years old, hung on his college campus, ruled as suicide. Are y'all seeing the patterns here?
So we're going to talk about this? Are we going to talk about this? Are we going to talk about how this keeps happening? How this keeps happening fairly frequently now? Are we going to talk about it? Because we know the patterns that mainstream media will ignore this. They'll ignore it, or they'll post a blurb that gets buried under so many other things. And then law enforcement will rule it as a self-ending. But anyone who has an understanding of American history and how violent and deplorable this place can be, especially to marginalized people, specifically to Black bodies and Black people, are we going to talk about this? Because this happened this week. Egregious.
There was a lynching in America over the last couple of days. That's right, a lynching, where a woman was found hanging from a tree in an abandoned building's backyard. I want you to watch this story, and then we have to talk about this.
The Hinds County coroner has identified the woman found hanging from a tree behind a Jackson home this week, and it's a case that's now drawing even more attention.
That's right. A city council member says federal authorities need to step in. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams explains what he's asking for and why he says the investigation needs more eyes on it.
A young woman found hanging from a tree in the backyard of a vacant house in West Jackson has been identified as Tasia Fortune. The coroner says the 29-year-old woman had been suspended from the tree 3 to 4 days before someone discovered the remains Monday night. According to City Councilman Kenneth Stokes, the Jackson Fire Department had to use a ladder truck to remove Fortune's body from the tree.
That means she was high in the air. What kind of inhumane person will hang somebody in that mountain? Everywhere you go, they talking about that hanging. I don't care where you go, to the grocery store, to get something to eat, people talking about that hanging.
The Jackson Police Department hasn't been talking about its investigation of the hanging other than a late Monday night social media post. JPD has been so tight-lipped, they haven't even sent out a press release.
Once upon a time, a press release would have come out quickly because of the sensitive nature of hangings in Mississippi.
Alrighty, let's talk about it.
In a Thursday interview with 16 WAPT, Police Chief Rochelle Brackney refused to answer any questions about the hanging investigation. Councilman Stokes is worried. That's why he sent a letter to the U.S. Attorney's Office asking for help about the incident on Road of Remembrance. In his letter, Stokes says he wants federal authorities to assist police finding Fortune's killer and why they strung her body up in a tree.
Anything that they can provide to get this hanging case solved quickly. We need to have someone in handcuffs as soon as yesterday.
The Hinds County coroner identified the woman as 29-year-old Tasia Fortune. Investigators say Fortune's body had been hanging in the tree for 3 to 4 days before someone found it Monday night at the house on Road of Remembrance.
Hangings in the world of Mississippi, when you think of Emmett Till and others, it's a bad word. So surely somebody should say something.
Councilman Stokes says even if there's no racial element to this hanging, he says given Mississippi's history of lynchings, public officials all across the city need to step up and say this is unacceptable behavior. Reporting from Jackson, Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
A JPD spokesperson says the case remains an active investigation.
Tasia Fortune being found hanging from a tree is not just alarming. It's a sign that times have fully changed here in America to a time that we once thought closed. I remember studying lynchings in school when I was just a young person and they were a thing of the past. I was told that the last known lynching happened in the 1950s. But that's not true, and we know that's not true. There have been lynchings since then. James Byrd, for example, in Texas, that was strapped to a car and driven off by 2 white men who beheaded him during that act. And now this. For all of you pretending that racism does not exist in America or that there's no race problem in America, you're continuing this problem. Acknowledging that there's a race problem in America doesn't inherently make America a bad place. Doesn't make you a bad person to acknowledge it. But what it does do is continue the journey towards change and hopefully healing. But as long as there are people denying that these situations exist, there will always be more wounds being created, and there will always be people entitled and emboldened feeling like they can continue to behave in this way. We have to face this problem head on if we have any chance of ending up on the other side of this and creating a truly great society that is devoid of racism, racial violence, discrimination, bigotry, and hate.
They are hanging our people, not committing suicide, not found deceased under undetermined circumstances, hanging from trees in Mississippi in 2026. Tasia Fortune was found hanging behind a vacant home in Jackson this week. Her death hasn't been ruled yet, but Mississippi already has a track record of rushing that ruling. Trey Reed was found hanging on Delta State's campus last September. The coroner called it self-done before a full autopsy was even complete. Here's what no one says aloud or doesn't want to admit. Black people do not choose hanging as a method of suicide at anywhere near the rate of other methods used. Study after study on suicide method selection shows it. And there's a reason that goes back to our roots. For generations, a rope and a tree was not a private act. It was a public terror done to us, not by us. It was Emmett Till's face. It was thousands of documented lynchings across the South, more in Mississippi than any other state in this country. That history lives in the body. It lives in the collective memory, which is exactly why when a Black person is found hanging, especially in a state with this specific history, the instinct in our community is not, he must have done this to himself. The instinct is somebody did this to him. And that instinct is not paranoia. It is inherited in knowledge. Mississippi's coroners, the people making these rulings, don't need a medical degree. A high school diploma and an election win is the bar. So when officials rush to call this suicide within hours in a state that recorded 581 lynchings on record, in a climate where hate groups are documented to be growing bolder, we are allowed to ask the question our history taught us to ask. They are hanging our people, and they keep trying to call it something else.
Her name is Tasia Fortune, 29-year-old woman who was found hanging from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi at an abandoned house. The neighbor of the abandoned house discovered her body. The Jackson Police Department is now, a couple days later, saying that they are going to open an investigation in her case because of the mysterious circumstances that her body was found. Now, I want you to remember a year ago, Trey Reed was found hanging from Mississippi State University. And then a couple months ago, Cohen Wiley was shot in Senatobia, Mississippi. And a month ago, Nolan Wells was found off of Horn Island in the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. And now in Jackson, Mississippi, we have a 29-year-old Black woman who was found hanging from a tree. I'm not entirely sure what the hell is going on in Mississippi right now, but enough is enough. Remember her name, share her story, and get this out because it is not being reported on enough. Her name is Tasia Fortune, 29 years old.
This case is raising some very serious questions, and right now, a grieving family just wants to know the truth. You have 29-year-old Tasia Fortune. She has been identified as the woman whose body was found suspended, because we got to use these code words, suspended behind a vacant property in West Jackson, Mississippi. Now, this is the same area, this is the same town where Nolan Wells' case is popping off right now as well, just so you know. Now, right now, investigators have released very little information. Police say the case is still under investigation, but they have not said whether foul play is suspected or explained the actual circumstances surrounding her demise. So everything's still up in the air. A lot of questions right now. Tasia's body has now been sent to the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office for an autopsy, and her family is now waiting for answers. But I will say this, a lot of people are side-eyeing that medical examiner's office as well. It's a complicated case here, okay, with Mississippi. But this case has also caught the attention of Jackson City Councilman Kenneth Stokes. He is now demanding federal prosecutors assist with this investigation. Right, yeah, because he says this case deserves a full and transparent review, especially given Mississippi's painful history involving suspensions. However, it's important to note that authorities have not ruled this a homicide or announced any evidence of foul play at this time. So everything's still pending. Now, Tasia has been described by her loved ones as someone who is vibrant, big-hearted, lovely, beautiful person, beautiful soul. And they say they are determined to find out exactly what happened to this young woman. As always, the facts matter, so let's not forget that. And hopefully the investigation and autopsy will prove the answers her family has been desperately waiting for. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you side-eyeing this whole case? Do you think there should be an independent investigation, or should someone just wait till investigators release more information? What are your thoughts? Comment down below. Definitely comment down below. Hit the like button. Hit the follow. We're keeping an eye on this. R.I.P. Tasia.
Now, guys, everybody needs to be very careful, especially if you're a Black person living in Mississippi, because right now we don't really know what is going on in Mississippi. Nobody knows what is wrong or what is going on with Mississippi, and people need to be very, very careful. Okay, we need to be very, very careful. I just pray that they found the answers. I pray that God consoles the family of our beloved sister who was found lynched, and console their family, because I know how hard, guys, I know how hard it is to lose a family, a beloved one. I know how hard. Okay, so it's something that the memory will still be there, something that you will not forget. Nobody wants to lose their loved ones. So guys, please, everybody needs to be very careful, and we pray the answers, like the investigators find the answers to what is really going on with Mississippi. Why are black people losing their lives in Mississippi? Like in the range of 3 years, a lot of people have lost their lives in Mississippi through the same method. I don't know what is going on, guys. I really don't know what is going on. I don't know. Okay, guys, so thank you for watching that video. If you find it very interesting, please don't forget to like it. Of course, support the channel by subscribing to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys, and please stay safe.